as the world is ending, I'm asking you to come, pay money.
Put a mask on.
Possibly
Hopefully don't die.
You're the band on the Titanic.
Exactly.
But how much nicer to die to the music than just the screams of all the people around you. Welcome to That's So Mental. I'm Ilana Cohn-Sullivan.
And I'm Cristina Fernandez. And each week we'll dive deep into the labyrinth that is the human brain.
Now, we have no business giving advice on mental health, but we do have a lot of opinions and experiences with full-blown mental breakdowns.
That's So Mental.
Let's talk about what we got going on today.
Let's talk about our guest, Michael J Feldman.
Michael J Feldman. We had a lovely talk with him.
What a doll.
Very excited to play this episode for you. And
he's your buddy. You knew him.
He's my buddy. I've known him for a long time. And
I didn't know him. I love him.
I met him at the Groundlings, and he was one of those people where I met him and I was like, oh, I want you to be my friend forever.
Oh, I love that feeling.
He's just genius and kind.
And deep. I was thinking, I wrote a note. We know some deep people. So he's talking about creative process, which obviously we know is deep, but he had even more, I don't know, he shared some beautiful practices with us.
He did. And and we were just talking to ourselves about this, that he has like a committed practice.
Very dedicated, not how I would do it.
Daily. And I for a while committed to his practice because I like to fly about and try all the things.
And don't we all feel like sometimes you go, I wish I was that person who did something for 35 years straight. Or there's people who are like, I like to try different things on the menu of life. And you just have to kind of know who you are. Like, I would love to be the person who would practice something every day for my whole life. It's not really in my DNA.
Yeah, I will say some version of meditation
every day for you.
Every day for me is necessary.
Yeah.
I'm not always on that train. And when I'm not,
you can feel it.
I know better.
You're
back
waiting
on
at that
train.
station going, I'm late.
TikTok.
I don't know. Let's keep this metaphor going. Anyway, listen up for Michael. He's awesome.
Well, we are here with Michael J Feldman.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thanks
coming.
For being here.
He is a writer, a performer, brilliant.
Stop.
My friend, great abs. I mean,
Wow.
You have to in the community.
So why don't can you tell us the name of your show?
So my latest solo show is No, But I'm Definitely in a Better Place Than I've Been in a Long Time.
Such a good title.
It's the best. Just the fact that it takes so much space on the marquee.
Yes. It basically, I think
was that
the
the
first
design.
time I ever put it up at a Dynasty typewriter on the marquee, it said show title couldn't fit.
No, they're so good about their
Vanessa
marquee.
Ragland did that.
Yes.
I was like, yes, keep that, please.
Now, are titles hard for you? I feel like titles do give me anxiety.
So
they're the hardest
hard.
thing.
Yeah.
So hard. And I was so happy with this one, but at the same time, I'm like, if I want it to ever be bigger and like more commercial, it's not going to work.
It's not going to happen. I don't
know. But you know what? It's like it makes it better, right?
But I do
makes it like a cult.
Like it, yeah.
I remember seeing your cute flyer at Elysian too. You had like, I think it was still maybe you hadn't had the full outfit. You had like googly eyes and they were really cute.
Dog googly eyes.
Yeah.
But you're also a television writer. You wrote a movie, Mafia Mama, which is hilarious.
Thank you.
And I've watched your episodes of Dead to Me, which are also wonderful. I just like follow
Not
you.
dead yet.
Not dead yet. Not dead yet. Not Dead to Me.
People do that all the time.
I know. Why?
Dead to Me is a great show.
Oh, right, because there's
Wrong
the two.
show.
Of course.
Not dead yet. But I love it.
Yeah. It's not on the air anymore, but
I'm sorry for that.
No,
Are you working on anything else right now?
My writing partner Debbie and I were getting ready to like pitch a few things. Yeah, it's just
it's a hard world out there. It's a hard business out here.
Yeah.
Do you label yourself as a writer, performer, writer, or how do you these days?
It's interesting. I mean, I guess writer performer. I'm definitely, I guess, writer forward.
Writer.
Like that's what I like do every day. But I know that like I couldn't just
because you're doing a show,
perform.
Of course.
It just like fills my soul. So,
We're just talking about like how hard it is to, that's another anxiety inducing thing. Like how do you present yourself? And that might shift or it might not encompass everything that you do.
And before we get into full anxiety, depression,
because
we're going to go deep.
We're going.
I do want to do our little mental check-in of where we are right now.
Present moment.
Present moment today.
I find it to be very nice. I think we're We're so good for doing that.
It's helpful. Do you want to start us off? Where are you today, Cristina?
The hard part is that you really have to think, where you're at. Well, we listened to a nice podcast on the way here, and I think I'm just really deep in trying to take it moment to moment and enjoy even the discomforts of life and sort of sitting in it and kind of seeing it all as a gift. So trying to be there, positive.
I love that. I want to be where you are. That's I long for that. In this very moment, my son got sick last night and was up a lot, and I didn't sleep really. And I had already basically had an emotional breakdown right before I went to bed. I'm like, I'm just so tired. I just need to go to bed. And then I went to bed early and then immediately got woken up and all night long. And I'm just like,
the universe was like, you're not the baby.
No.
Oh,
yeah. So I feel kind of insane, but I'm also like, it's because I'm sleep deprived. It's going to be okay. I'm going to power through the shows I have to do in the next couple days.
You're going to do it.
And then it'll be fine. And I will survive. I will have survived and be stronger because of it.
I feel for you because my writing partner has 2 very young children. She's very, very tired all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a state.
It is a state. But you know what? One day it'll all be behind you. And then,
I know, and I'll miss it. I'll long for it.
You got to stay in the vibration, the pulsation of life.
I truly do. I do find myself more now just being like, just enjoy this moment. Just be present. Really talking myself off the ledge.
On the ledge?
Onto the ledge. No. But yeah. What about you, Michael? What's your mental state?
Right now, and as of yesterday, I think I'm in a good little bit of upswing because I was on a downswing this past weekend through Wednesday. I would say I'm just used to now.
The
it's
it's
a roller coaster. It's more like waves for
high
me
tide
now.
ocean.
It used to be roller coasters. Now it's
we're trying to get to wavy.
It's definitely wavy.
What made it change?
I think just patience.
Write it out. Write out the wave.
Yeah, I mean, I could get into all of it if you want.
You may.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed a few years ago with generalized anxiety disorder, and I've always kind of embraced that and felt that. Anxiety and depression are very kind of linked. But for me, whenever I hear about people's experience with depression, I'm like, oh yeah, mine is definitely
it's a different
anxiety
combo.
forward.
Yeah,
it's
that's how you present yourself.
I mean, it makes sense.
Writer forward,
anxiety. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm depression forward and anxiety adjacent. Sometimes it kicks in, but mostly
depression adjacent for me.
Yeah.
But it's more. It all stems from anxiety and nerves and everything. And long story short, which I guess we'll get into the longer story after. But I was on meds. I went off meds a year and a half ago, and since being off, that's where the waves come in. It's sometimes I'm totally fine, and then sometimes that's how I remember this feeling, and that's where I thought that being on the meds was very, very helpful because it reminded me, okay, I see, this is that old feeling.
That top,
and I just have to be patient and know,
write
you know
it out.
what,
it's gonna go.
Yeah, gonna write it out. So.
Yeah, I mean, I only recently have been medicated. And it is interesting because it does give you a little bit of foresight. You can see it from afar, perspective, I guess is the word, where you can see that decline, but not be in it. And it's really helpful because my whole life have been roller coaster. I think it's part of being an artist, right? It's just,
but I do think and we're all trying to do the thing where it's okay, we know roller coaster, and how can we not be
waves? We want to get to the waves
in order to get as close to steady and not be pulled in every direction based off jobs, based off attention, based off of not attention.
It's so hard. Can I ask you what you were on?
I was on sertraline, Zoloft.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, a low dose of that. And I found it very helpful in the way that it's
this is mellow.
Yeah, I'm not, it's almost
you're yourself,
am I on medication? It's almost
well, they say the thing, as soon as you get on medication that works, the first thing you want to do is get off because you're like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's guess why? But may I ask, so now you decided to get off of medication?
Yes, because, and now every now and then when I go through the waves, I'm like, do I maybe want to be back on? So that's actually something that I'm currently
like navigating.
Exploring and navigating with my therapist and stuff and talking about. But I think I got off originally because, I got on like towards like the end of like quarantine and stuff. Like I was just
that's
not
what I got on antidepressants during.
Same, first time ever.
Same. And
pharmaceutical business just
I was like,
boom during
the first month. I was like, it's about to get crazy in here, and let's not let it get crazy in like. Let's try to do some helping.
Well, because I finally embraced like, oh, you know what?
I need help.
I'm aware of this and I can't stop
This is not going to be something.
So, so I needed to do something. And I was on that for a while. I felt good and I had a job. And then, I just kind of, I was talking about it with my therapist and we were saying how, he's like, you could always get back on it. Like if you're really, want to explore that. And it's something also that you're able to, and this was very helpful, like him telling me that, like that feeling that you have when you're on medication, you could kind of like bring that.
You're recognizing it
You
now.
could recognize it.
Yeah.
And
you could tap into that now mentally.
And I definitely have. And now, because now I've been out of work and it was actually really good for a while. And I would say like, I was at the height of like feeling my best when I was on Not Dead Yet this past season because I was just so thankful every day because the business is so crappy and that I had a job. I'm like, I'm grateful. Also,
right now.
It was like the best job. I've been very, very fortunate to work in great writers' rooms, and this was like the best of the best. Cool. It was just everybody was great. My bosses were like believed in a no asshole policy from the top down.
And
really showed, and so like, and
you've
like
seen the other side, so you're like, oh, I'm lucky.
This is like special, and so I truly was just like so
true gratitude,
grateful every day, and it's like, oh yeah, gratitude really makes it.
Wait, isn't it crazy when you can actually feel it? Because for a while, I do think it's like it's a heady idea. Like I need to have gratitude. I'm thankful for being alive, but I feel like I've entered a place where it has actually sunk in. I don't know if it's like age, parenting, the quarantine. I don't know. Maybe it's like a whole combo for everybody. But for me, it's been like realizing, I do have limited time here.
Yeah.
And I should, this is I'll look back and be like, even the bad days were great.
Yeah. And I do feel like there is an aspect of like the fake it till you make it. Like you have to really be like, what am I? I did gratitude lists for years.
Dig in deep.
Especially when I was feeling the shittiest.
Of course.
Right. And it's like
a practice.
Just like recognizing those things. And then, all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, I actually feel.
I'm truly, So I was just feeling great. And then ever since now,
love that.
It's like you kind of like forget sometimes. And I just, it is always like, just like these like reminders of, like to check in with myself and be like, I'm like really like angry and cynical right now and just like placing blame and stuff like when I'm getting into these cycles, it's it kind of like reminds me, I'm like not that I'm in like a
you're observing too, though. You're able to actually look at it without even maybe judgment or something. And you're able to like, I'm doing that thing rather than I'm in the thing.
Yeah. And then, every now and then it's like, I'm in it. Like
I'm in it.
Now
but even that is huge.
That's be aware of it.
Yeah. Of course.
So like sometimes that will set off like reminding me like, like,
go back to your practices or go back to your thing or your therapist or your medication.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly.
And I know you because you're my friend. Do you still have your daily practice?
I do. So I'm a Nichiren Buddhist. So I chant every morning and evening.
Beautiful.
Nam-myoho Renge Kyo is the chant. And it's always saved my life. And like,
I love chanting. Oh my God. It's so incredible.
It's incredible. It's just an incredible practice to like really tap. Again, speaking of gratitude, it's like whenever I feel like I'm stagnant in my practice, and because I'm very good at like, make
good
the to-do list.
Yeah,
I have
like,
a good student. I did this,
Yeah.
like check this off instead of like really like, okay,
embodying.
what am I doing here? And like chanting,
What is a chant?
I translate for years.
That same chant?
Yes. Well, I did it with Michael. For years.
What is it? What does it translate to?
Yeah. Would you
do I remember?
Would you care to share? Don't paraphrase. I want to hear the paraphrase.
I'm going to
let Michael take this one.
It's basically the mystic law of cause and effect through sound. Renge is like the lotus flower, which blooms and seeds at the same time. So it's the idea of like the simultaneity of cause and effect. Like once you're making that cause, it's like an effect is registered and we just have to like go through the motions of like getting to that place. So it basically starts your day from like this place of determination, like your prayer is like, I'm determined to do something. I'm determined
today.
to like,
I'm going to
live
go into
this way.
action.
Yeah. And so it's not about like, oh, I hope this will happen. I hope, like, coming from this place of like lack. It's just like, I am determined to make. It's like
it's
action. It's very like
it's a very, very active practice.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the opposite of what a lot of people, especially like the Western idea of thinking about Buddhism, like this,
receive.
Exactly. It's open eyes, the chanting. It's
the chant itself talks about the lotus flower, or says like every action I have has a. I'm definitely. I'm like has a some of that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I used to teach yoga and I chanted a lot, but not that one specifically. So
I mean, I often think about going back to it. I have my Gohanzen still,
and it's always there for you.
It's always there.
Yeah.
I
know a lot of people, myself, like who stop for a while, just like, you know what, I need a break.
You can always come home.
You can always come home. Exactly. It is. I am very much like a spiritual hopper. Like I've done all the
class
things.
pass, spiritual class pass.
Yes, I have a class pass. I've done 12-step. I've done
You have?
Judaism.
You've done 12-step.
Oh yeah.
I've been thinking about the Serenity Prayer.
It's helpful. It is helpful. 12-step programs. It's just like, and now I've been listening to a lot of Byron Katie, and she is sort of like she's a really interesting lady. She basically like went to 12-step, and it feels like a condensed version of like your resentments and kind of dealing with them in a way that's like turning it onto yourself. Like what is my part in this? And like taking away all of the directed anger and like coming to terms with it in a way that makes you have peace around it. And then the people around you change ultimately.
Because your reflections like,
that's like Nichiren Buddhism.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's all about taking 100% responsibility for your life.
How can
we're connected.
You can only work on yourself really at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, you can. You can't change a single soul around you.
That's what I'm at a WhatsApp group right now. And last night I heard a voice in my head and I was like, because I was like, should I get in there and say my piece? I'm really mad at the group. And then I was like, what are you know what I mean? You can only change yourself. Either let this go or talk to, so I don't know. But this weird inner dialogue you're having with people is wild and you've got to let it go.
Yeah.
And that's also another way that I kind of recognize, like, oh, maybe like, going back with the meds is good because I get these intrusive
You're doing the
thoughts.
thing, the narration.
And it's spiral. Yeah, I'm very, that's very, very hard for me.
Are you a ruminator?
I'm a ruminator.
All about the ruminating.
Yeah. And it's like, I'll recognize it, Also, meditation has really helped. Like a specific type, like somebody introduced me to this course like called Ziva meditation. I found it online. And I just
How do you
found
spell that?
Ziva.
Okay.
I just felt it, and I just felt it very just kind of. I liked how I'm blanking on the woman's name who created it, but it was very helpful to think of it as like, oh, all these thoughts. It's not that you're like trying to push these thoughts away.
You can't
do
that. You cannot do it.
No, it's like you're like, it's like she described it as like you're walking around with this like these intrusive thoughts like a party, and like you're the host, and like you're just bringing it around, and like talking.
Well, the
to
tea,
people,
right? Taking it out to tea, your dark thoughts.
Yeah, so that
Thank
like
you,
but you could move on, you could let it go. It's not about like actively like trying to like force it out or anything.
I love that.
And so that like combined with my. The practice of chanting, I just feel really, again, it's like that reminder of like everything I need is within me.
Yeah.
And
like
the embodiment of like
responsibility.
Like dance and song. I don't know, just getting in your body out of your, right, this thing.
Yeah, there's something about vocalizing it that is, I really do miss that. Because I still meditate every morning, even if it's for 5 minutes. And that really helps me stay grounded. But yeah, there's something about the active chanting. I mean, I might just knock on your door and show up with you.
Kyo is like through sound. It's a very, important part of it. Because it grounds. It's like back to, because it's the difference between just meditating and closing your eyes and letting you receive. It's like you're taking an
sending
active,
something out into the world.
Exactly. So.
Now, I have a question for you about relating it to the work with anxiety and working with all these things is, how do you feel like you've made anxiety work for? Do you feel like you've made your, because it can be put to good use, right? That like energetic mind, that super bright sort of like always thinking. Do you feel like?
Yeah, I mean, I say it in my show, like it's my brand, you know?
Yeah,
so it's like
embrace it.
Very much embrace it.
Yeah.
I do find the humor in it. Like I'm able to laugh at it,
It's
I think that's
are.
really important. Yeah, and also, I mean, just the act of creation, I just find it's very
healing and
very frustrating. It's healing at the end.
At the end, you're
the
right.
whole
You're right.
process
Sorry,
is so frustrating.
It's very frustrating. It's like child. It's like a child.
But I try to now. I'm at this point, and I think for the past few years, I'm like, I know this process
know what this
for me.
is like.
I know that I'm just like
this is the part
you gotta move through the muck.
You just have to move through the muck. Yeah.
How do you do that?
You just kind of have to keep moving. Like I talk to a lot of younger writers who, especially, like ask me the question of like, how do you like get over your anxiety and like imposter syndrome? I'm like, honestly,
you don't.
You kind of don't.
I really don't.
Just gets easier.
Yeah, you just like embrace it. Like, okay, this is how I feel. Oh, I have that imposter syndrome today. You just kind of have to keep moving.
It becomes like a recognizable pattern, and you go, "Oh, that's at that point in the process 100%. Where I think everything I'm doing is really
awful,
bad,
and I want to start over or do a new project."
No, but you got to finish.
Yep. No. You just
Can
one
you
foot in front of the other.
Just briefly give a synopsis of what your show is for people who haven't had the chance to see it?
And it's weird. Like it's interesting. I'm having this conversation with you now because I think I'm going to do it like one more time before like putting it to red.
When is that? Hopefully this comes out before that and not after.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at like maybe like November, depending on
in town in LA.
Election.
Yeah.
Yeah, in LA
or
early next
laugh
year.
Or cry.
Yeah. But so basically, I started writing this show during the pandemic. I was just like writing about in general about my anxiety and just kind of I had to force myself and be like, look, I kept telling myself nobody ever has to see this. I'm just doing this for me. So I just like started writing and at the beginning I always feel like like everybody's going through why is like this
why is my thing
I'm not special.
Yeah,
totally.
It's stupid, whatever. But I just kept writing and writing. And then my husband and I, we've been talking about getting a dog, and I really wanted, like a pandemic puppy, just like have a cute, cuddly, lazy lap dog, something to like
like beauty in the world.
I always felt like whenever I see dogs, I've always wanted a dog growing up. I couldn't have it because we lived in a co-op building.
You're like, this is the time to reclaim.
This is it. And I always felt like this kind of like therapeutic kind of thing with seeing like these cute puppies, whatever. We ended up with a 75-pound German Shepherd with generalized anxiety disorder. And I'm like, of course.
That is not the universe showing itself to you.
And so I'm like, oh, of course, the show wants to be from her perspective.
It's not the dog you wanted, but it's the dog you
needed.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, of course it wants to be from her perspective. So I'm like, I'm going to play my dog.
Oh,
and of course, and so I started working from that place of like being the dog. And I come from, I did for years and years, I did this adult fairy tale show.
Oh, yeah. 18 and over.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Sounded amazing.
It was like,
I hope that comes back at some point too.
One of these days. I was actually just talking about it with one of my puppeteers, Mad Cook. I'm like, I do kind of want to do it again sometime. We were going to do like a 10th anniversage special during but then the pandemic hit and we couldn't do it.
You're like, new material.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of, again, my brand, like me playing animals. And I was working on it and then the anxiety was, okay, I'm resting on like old like habits of mine. Like, of course, I'm dressing up as a fucking animal and like doing all this stuff. Sorry if you can't.
Of course we can.
You may.
So and then like it just also felt so stupid during this time when like the world is on fire,
right?
To like be like
when we need art.
But this
most.
is maybe exactly when
like
we
a dog.
need
Like
to
what
laugh.
is this? And so that finally became the last element of the show. I like had to embrace this because I felt like it was so integral and so funny too. I'm like, I'm asking people to come to a theater during a pandemic as I'm just dressed like a dog. So that became part of the show. And now it's that I'm putting up this show about my dog as the world is literally ending from this like world catastrophic event.
Well, I have the one line. It's a raging narcissist attempts to put up a one-man show about his dog as the world is ending. Yes, narcissist.
Are you?
Yeah, but you don't. You don't think you're a narcissist?
To put up a solo show.
I just met you, but I'm like, you don't think you're a narcissist? narcissist?
I guess I wouldn't say it, but I definitely have that in me. You know, like
Right,
again,
like,
this
to
need
stand on stage
as the world is ending. I'm asking you to come
pay good money.
Pay money,
put a mask on,
possibly
hopefully don't die.
Exactly. So it really
You're the Titanic. You're the band on the Titanic.
exactly.
But how much nicer to die to the music than just the screams of all the people around you.
But the music, I mean, I would say the music.
Are we talking about the Titanic now? Yeah. Okay.
You're
go
giving
ahead.
back at that moment of like, you know, this is all I get, you know, and
Wait,
mine it's like,
now?
instead of spending time with your families, come out of your house and come to a theater.
But maybe they wanted a break. You
Yeah.
were giving.
I just wanted to, I wanted to embrace that feeling of
course.
how I felt.
You're like this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So,
That's
yeah.
so
Well, it was brilliant.
I want to see it.
We'll
Bring it back for
definitely,
me.
when it's back.
Another narcissist.
She needs to see it, so maybe just put it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you wrote something that you said something that it made me think. You said embracing your brand. And that is really, I don't know, it's, you know, because you're kind of judging it. You're like, this is who I am. Oh my God, your work reveals who you are. Like I'm working on a show right now. And when people were done, they had so much fun. And they were like, girl, you're crazy. And it's like, they had fun, but you have to accept the things that make you you. And I think that's why it's so vulnerable. But leaning into that teaches someone else, I can
100%.
be
I should
myself.
lean into that. Like we're all
Yeah.
like, show me a person who is okay. That's why we respond to seeing someone dress up as a dog. We're like, I wish I could be that.
And I also felt like this show, and it sounds so corny to say it, but like it really was so, back to what you were saying before, so healing to do this in a way that I really wasn't expecting. It was like, because I knew like, oh, okay, like, you know, like I've put up a show before, like, you know, I'm going to work hard. And then I was very, very proud of it. But it was healing in a way that like, there were so many things and drafts that I went through with my director, Tom DeTrinis, who's just absolutely brilliant and love working with him. But there were so many things and like, things that I wrote that I'm like, oh, this is funny. And the way that it would like, but it would end though, I just knew that it was leaning on like you know, I'm always on the lookout to not be like therapizing myself, let's say, you know, and like using this as my therapy.
Of course, where you go, this person needed to go into an office rather than using us for that. It's a energetic exchange.
Yes. And there was so much like darkness and stuff that I'm like, I don't want to leave them on that and that. And so it kind of forced me to like, what's like the fun
silver
in
lining.
this? You know, and not even silver lining, more like the what can we laugh at, I guess, in this? And it like and so it helped me to find that within me and not just like, you know, a lot of it was like, oh, this is how I'm feeling and I'm sad. Yeah. But it's like, okay, what's the
funny?
fun
And it's a fine line. You know the difference. You'll see a good show. It could even same topic, same material, right? And sometimes you're like, this person feels like is taking a lot. Maybe that's what you needed today, babe. We're all here for you, which is a very weird feeling as an audience member. You're going, 70 people just showed up and I guess we'll watch you. Or the same thing and you're going like, oh, there's this.
Yeah, you need that exchange.
Like I can see myself in you. You're giving, this is a gift. You're sharing yourself is actually a gift. It's not it's not taking. It's sharing.
Well, and I would say it's almost like, I think about Mark Maron because I've been watching him for years and years and years. And he's so brilliant. And like, I was in his like, I remember seeing his stand up in his like dark years. Like when I first
super angry?
Super angry. And it's like, oh yeah, like I could tell he's super funny and stuff. And I'm enthralled. But at the same time, it's like, there's this like, I don't know, this energy that you're...
It's anger, right?
That you're leaving like on us. And now to be able to like come from a place of like joy and tap into that, but also like really
do you want to do that? Like, what do you want to?
I love. I mean, his last special I think was absolutely brilliant, and just like such a good measure of like how to like go from there to there. Evolution, and you just have to kind of go through it, I guess, you know.
And in public.
And for me, like what happened was like just being such a people pleaser and not wanting to leave people on a bad note or anything, you know. So
it's like intentional what you do want to leave them. Maybe someone does want to leave you angry and that's what you set out to do. But if you don't want that, then that's not who you are.
Exactly.
Well, it was brilliant.
Well, thank you.
I want to
see it. You will.
I want to see it.
What else do we want to talk about?
We're at 37.
I mean, What are you working on right now?
What do you want to talk about?
Like I said, yeah, I'm working with Debbie on my writing partner on a few different pitches that we're going out with shortly. And then something just to keep myself sane.
Yeah.
I'm working on a horror script.
Oh, fun.
A horror with comedy, but I wouldn't say it's a horror comedy. It's definitely, again, horror forward.
Yeah, horror forward.
Because it's something that I've thought about for a while. And I'm just and it's all about like family dynamics. Trying not to give away too much at this point because it's still I'm still exploring it for myself. But
really
I'm very excited about it, and I think it does have a lot of elements of like whimsy, if you will, that I really enjoy.
Oh, I'm excited.
I love
for that.
Whimsy. Like what kind of whimsy?
Like animals and objects talking. So
that's your thing.
And it's like exploring mental illness.
Again, your brand.
So I'm very, So I'm very, very excited about it.
I love that. I do have a question about the recovery process of when you're out pitching and things don't go, like I've been in development land for years and then something doesn't go. And it's like, it's very hard to recover from that. Like the devastation of like, this was the thing I've been trying to make for years. And it was so close, Do you have any
advice?
It's like kind of like with the same advice I would give about like how do you get through writer's block and like you just
keep making more
keep going.
That feeling
maybe
is
get on medication in that moment.
It's not going away.
That feeling's not going to go away. You know, you just have to have a lot of irons in the fire. That's helped me.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, and this is like I guess maybe bad advice, but like my bar has gone down so much to the point
I just want to make a little paycheck in the next 2 weeks.
Well, I don't even care about like because I used to like fantasize like getting this on the air and like what I would do in second season.
That's
like,
so far.
I just want to sell something. I don't even care if it gets on TV. I just want to sell something. And at this point, I just want to get in the room. Pitch,
well, I mean, what you're saying, I feel like someone echoed, and I was like, wow, that's a really nice way to put it, especially in this business that never kind of has like a clear end. Is you have to celebrate every win. Right?
Yeah.
You got in the room. Oh my, you're 1% of the 1%. You're trying to win the freaking lottery, man. Like you got a meeting. That's huge. So go out to dinner, toast yourself.
I really
you don't
used
know.
to think celebrating those little wins, was just bullshit.
I know, but
it's really true.
Because you don't know when it's going to happen again. Selling a show, you're in the, oh my God, that's like, you're literally trying to win the lottery.
To be pitching the show is like,
that is huge. That is huge. How many people try to do that? And people are like, I don't think so.
Yeah. And I mean, my first pitch ever was for my fairy tale show as a TV show, and FX bought it in the room, and so that ruined me because I was like, "Oh,
this is so easy. What are people talking about?"
So and it wasn't. It has not been like that, and so like,
and it also never got made, right?
It never got made,
which is so
but maybe a good, hard lesson. But you learned it.
Yeah, and so that's been an interesting thing. Just go back to fairy tale because I've been talking with people about like maybe putting it up one more time or something, but I also want to know that I'm coming from a place of like doing it because I love it so much, which I do. Like I just love it so much. I miss it. And it's just like the fun of it versus like, hey, this was me at my peak and I'm going to go back to that and like need to, like that's not fun.
I don't think it would feel like that. I mean, it is. That was one of my favorite live shows I've ever seen.
Thanks.
Yeah, all your live shows, everything sounds awesome.
Thank you.
I want to see them all.
Yeah.
Back to back, one night.
Thanks.
Yeah. And listen, if you need a rogue monkey, I am all in.
I'm like, what kind of animal would I play?
My ayahuasca revealed that I am a cheetah. So,
oh really?
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and it's so funny also because like, like now, my. No. Well, okay. So I could just, let me just talk about it.
Yeah.
The horrors about hoarding because I grew up in that kind of an environment. And now like with all the fairy tale props and costumes that I have from over the years.
I also am becoming the
and Rockless, my husband, whose name is Michael also, but I call him by his last name.
I saw that. I was like, does two Michaels cause anxiety
so
in a house?
Like, oh yes, very much so. But he's like, all right, is it time to get like rid of this? I'm like, no, I can't. And like, so it's like
family lineage passed down.
Yeah.
And like recently I had to go through all these bins that we like keep right next to the house and it like got pouring rain on from the last year.
Yeah.
And so like stuff is like
do you really need this?
Do I need this wet?
Like I do. The props.
do. What if I do it again?
No, I
It's like
know.
now it's like moldy and I had to like spray it down. I'm like, what am I doing?
You're like looking at yourself.
From the height
like,
of what I was
oh
doing.
my
And
God.
now it's like I'm spraying
a moldy rag.
Yeah.
It's just
humbling. It's a very humbling moment.
Very, very humbling. Yeah. But I'm like, I've been humbled so much.
You don't
Can
need
we
it anymore.
please get to the next
I'm ready
part?
to move on from my humble.
Speaking of, can I just one funny story?
absolutely.
Like the humbling why I'm gonna do this show one more time and then put it to rest. The solo show is because I did like a mini run in New York. Hoping,
Something.
I really just like wanted to have a good time, spread the word, like, and have like word of mouth spread, and really, really, really wanted like at least one review. I didn't get that, and it was very, very difficult to get an audience. But again, looking at the bright side, I had 7 shows over the course of 2 weekends, and it wasn't during a festival or anything. And I had like 4 like really packed, awesome crowds, and 3 not so much.
Always the weird one,
But one of those 3 not so much was probably one of the most embarrassing performances of my entire life that I might want to do a whole show on, which was. It was 12 people, and it was only my parents and all of their close friends who I've known since I was a baby, who all have very successful children and grandchildren. And here I am on a Saturday in a black box theater.
Yeah.
Only them dressed as a dog saying that I don't want kids. It had very much the vibes of like my parents saying, gather around the living room. Michael's going to do a show. And I'm like, good.
Wow.
I had to tell them, no, I'm also a TV writer.
I'm also very successful.
So I almost want to do a show called The Bad One. Just the bad
so
There's always a bad one.
Because I'm always focused on like
that one.
version,
Of course.
Because we're trained to look at that one.
Yeah. But no, so now I want to do it one more time here just to go out with a bang.
I think you should
reclaim your height of your show.
We wanted to talk about Edinburgh too, but we are.
Oh yeah. No, we'll talk again.
Because you took fairy tales.
I did, and it was one of the most incredible magical experiences of my life.
It sounds.
Yeah, and I've been trying to get back ever since. It's just so.
I'm at the tip of
expensive.
trying to see if Edinburgh is in my horizon.
I mean, ultimately, I was thinking about going to Edinburgh this past year with the solo show, but between that and New York, I was like, you know what? Because it's so expensive. I'm like, let me just take all that money and put it towards,
That
really
sounds like anxiety. Edinburgh sounds like it could be amazing and also incredibly anxiety.
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody, I'm like, I didn't know. I was told I would lose money and I didn't know how much.
How much?
Is it 15 grand?
No, it's like $8,000. Is it $8,000?
Was a lot.
Like exact numbers.
Well, I mean,
Depends
I spent,
on
and this
venue.
was 9 years ago.
Right.
I spent 13 grand just to put people up, just for the housing. So,
because you had you had a big. Did you have a big cast?
Big cast, and it was two apartments. But even now, like my friend told me, he brought another show there. 1 bedroom. It was like 20 grand for them. It's insane.
I've heard
like you better know what
15 grand is like the baseline.
Someone said 8, and then maybe the other.
Yeah, and I was like, I had a sold out show with fairy tales, and I still lost that much. But like, and so you'll lose less if you go as a solo performer.
Yeah.
But if I was told how much I would lose. Because I think I was told about like 5 to 8 grand,
right?
But I ended up losing
it's like 20 minutes away in LA. It's not going to be 8 grand.
If I was told, I probably wouldn't have done it, and I'm glad I wasn't told because it was such an incredible experience. So, So and it was like really like. Just like kind of healing as an artist, of like, oh my God, like, because you're so used to in LA being like, I'm, it's cutthroat and it's competitive. And
but there
now
it's like part of the fabric.
1,000 shows. And like, no, everybody's just like looking out for each other. I mean, I had to like cut jokes that work so well here, but it were too cynical for over there. Like they just want to laugh and be bright. And,
that's interesting.
So, I've just been, I really want to go back one of these days.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to pick your brain.
Well,
here we are. We could be here so much longer.
We could talk forever. This has been so lovely.
So nice.
Amazing to see you in person again.
I know.
It's been too long. And we like to go out with our endorsements of things. These are things that are, bringing us joy, bringing us life.
Working with, what's on our mind.
Helping us.
What's on your mind?
Yeah,
this week?
what do you got? What do you got, Cristina?
Well, I had a bunch of things to pick from, but you suggested the Tara Brach meditate, specifically the one we listened to today on the way here, which, she's an amazing meditator and teacher. And it was all about how the body knows through singing, dance, going into the woods. And so much of our lives are spent in our heads, lost in thought about next moment. And so rarely, it starts with, you should listen, it starts with this thing about how they did an experiment on a crowded subway platform with a violinist during rush hour. They had 2,000 people walk by and see if anybody ever stopped. 6 people stopped. And then the reveal was that it was like one of the top classical performers playing a $3.5 million violin. And she was like, if we can't stop to admire the most beautiful work and for like, what are we missing in this? And that's like really on my mind. Like this is like, I don't know. I'm like really trying to stay in that.
So anyway, be present.
Yeah.
I love that.
Enjoying it.
Mine is very different. Mine, I'm gonna give a shout out to my gym.
I mean, for sure.
Listen,
it takes all kinds of things.
It takes all kinds of things. And there's something about, I started a couple years ago. It's called Go Tribe. It's very like, I don't want to say culty, but
tribal. No, just kidding.
It's tribal. But it's these like classes that are like weight hit classes, right? And I feel like it's gotten me a lot stronger. I went this morning and I was like, I can't do this to my trainer.
First of all,
I was like, I barely slept, and I'm like, she's like, we're gonna do like 10 sets of stairs. I was like, I can't. And she was like, okay, well you can go home if you're. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna go home. And I just started like crying. I was so tired, and I just like was crying. And then I was like on the rower, just like crying through it. And I was like, this is my whole career and life, right? It's like just pushing through, even when it's awful.
Yep.
You just show up, and then ultimately you feel better. You do better,
and you did it.
And I did it.
You showed yourself you can do it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, chanting.
Perfect.
Chanting. That's been, always a lifesaver for me. I would say most recently, travel, especially for me, solo travel.
Ooh,
I went to Italy by myself a few years ago, and I hadn't done that in a while. And I used to love like backpacking alone. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to remember to do this more often. And so this was the year I was like, you know what? My husband and I go to Burning Man often. Oh, cool. And this year, we went last year, and this year he wanted to go still. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just step back, take a break this year. And I wanted like put all my energy towards like doing a solo travel.
Yeah.
And I went in mid-August to Oslo, Bergen, and Copenhagen.
Oh, wow.
And it was so...
For how long?
A little over a week.
That's wonderful.
And my only it was like everything that I wanted, but I forgot how incredible and open I would feel.
Yeah.
So I was incredibly depressed when I got back. I was like, why did I not stay longer? Why am I in a rush to get back? And as soon as I got back, I also was like, oh, I want to go to Burning Man now.
And I also want
emotionally
You're like, I'm renting a trailer.
Because I forget how like blocked I am so much, and like how much boundaries I put. And it really was just like cracked open. And again, for me, it's solo when you don't even have to worry about like
where are we going to go, the map, the thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like letting
it's
my
the best.
being
able to just be
what I want to do. I wept in a museum for the first time in years. I was like,
when was the last time we've all cried in a museum?
Yeah, it was great. It was really great.
That's really cool.
Good reminder.
Solo travel. Yeah. Sagittarius?
Capricorn.
Okay, close.
Well,
this is awesome.
This was wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
To get to know you.
Thank you for listening to Totally Mental. I, hope we gave you some hot tips on how to
tricks,
to not let your mind take over your whole life.
Hey, if you like listening to That's So Mental, send us your thoughts or show ideas. Let us know what you'd like to hear about.
That was so mental. Rate, subscribe, and hit us up with your stories.
That's So Mental.